Hi everybody, my name is Angie Hotz and I'm a birth doula and a childbirth educator here in Kitsap County, Washington. And I'm also a placenta encapsulation specialist. I just did a video about this lovely placenta. It was a tour showing you all of the parts and how they work. So check that one out. It actually turned out really good. I was really happy with it. This is just a gorgeous placenta. So all placentas are gorgeous though. I'm going to show you how I do a placenta print. It is a piece of art. I paint on food coloring. It's professional cupcake icing gel. I paint it on and then I take watercolor paper and I make a print. And I'm going to show you how I do that. I'm going to share my secrets with you. So to start out with, I have the placenta. In the video, hopefully you'll go check it out, of the placenta tour. It has the membranes, the amniotic sacs. There are two, the amnion and the chorion. They're together, they look like one. Anyways, I trim all of that off and then I'm left with a placenta. The chucks pad that I do that on gets a little bit bloody, so after it's all trimmed off, I transfer it to a clean chucks pad very carefully. And then lay out the cord in the design that I think feels and looks good for this particular cord. And I lay out the placenta in a way that kind of has a tree feel to it. And when you're laying it out, you can tell like where the cord wants to lay. And that's where you let it do its thing. So I will bring the camera over closer to show you so you can see how I paint it on. But for now, I'm going to try this and see if I can't maybe lift it up just a little bit so you can see how it's laying on there. I don't want to disrupt the, where it's at. But for now, that's what it looks like laying on the chucks pad. So it's all pretty simple stuff in how it's done. I have a paper plate, some Q-tips. Q-tips are my brushes that I use to paint the icing gel on. This is Wilton's, I believe is the brand. Let me find. Yes, Wilton is the brand. I have chosen brown, teal, Kelly green, royal blue, some golden yellow, and burgundy. I'm just going to add little bits of golden yellow and burgundy because it's fall. It's September, I don't know, maybe the 15th or 16th. And fall is just starting here in Washington. Like we're getting our first kind of cool days and cool nights. And so I'm going to add that in there just to kind of show the time of year. Okay. I guess I can go ahead and do this first really quickly. So I'm going to start with brown. The icing is really quite messy and I'm going to need another Q-tip too. I guess I better grab one of those really quick. I'm glad I have more with me. Okay, I'm glad my table's on wheels too, huh? Okay. This Kelly green has been really messy. It's kind of gotten all over the place. So you want a good amount. Like I'm not worried about getting too much. I'd rather have too much than have to get more in the middle of what I'm doing. So brown, and the next probably what I'm going to do is green. This is a messy one. So I'm just scooping some out. It's a gel, it's a little bit thicker. And I can see what colors they are, but they look very dark on the plate. And so I sort of have a system in how I do them and how I remember like what's what. Yeah, it's getting my gloves all. Teal is next. I think the key to doing this kind of artwork is taking it slow and not rushing it because you have one shot. That is one of the things that I think is actually really fun about doing placentas is you get one shot. You can't like wipe it off and start over again. You do it one time. So I like the idea and the act of being purposeful about it and being very slow and methodical. That needs to get thrown away. It's in the way. So just a little bit of yellow, 'cause it's not gonna be a lot. I feel like I should be painting little happy trees. I should have worn my Bob Ross t-shirt. I found a Bob Ross t-shirt at the thrift store the other day. It was fantastic. I should have totally worn that. I'm gonna paint this happy tree of life. Maybe that'll be the theme for the rest of this. Okay, so I'm gonna bring the camera a little bit closer. I'll pause, and so you can kind of see a little bit better what I'm doing for a little bit. Okay. So I always like to start with the trunk. I want to make sure that it's all laid out in the way that I want it. And then I'm going to start painting this on. So the trunk, or the umbilical cord, is where I start. You don't want it too thick because this is a gel. It takes a little while to dry, and if it's too clumped on there, then it takes a really long time to dry. So we've got these great textures and kind of nodules on the cord here that are pretty neat. So I'm being very purposeful. I don't want to get any on the chucks pad itself, because when I do the print, it's going to pick up anything that paper touches. So I want to try and keep the chucks pad itself as clean as I can. So in the Placenta Tour video, I talked about the umbilical cord. There are two veins and an artery in the umbilical cord. The outside, like, casing is very similar to like a sausage casing, or yeah, it's like a sausage casing. And on the inside are the two veins and the artery, and then what's called Wharton's jelly. The umbilical cord is about 22 inches long. This looks like it had been cut a little bit shorter. Sometimes when I see the placentas, depending on where it's cut in different places. You know, sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's longer. Sometimes they're crazy long. So I am tracing over very gently, very purposefully, the veins and arteries sticking up on the placenta that look like branches. And it's art, you know, you gotta remember, I'm painting food coloring with Q-tips on an organ. So it's going to be what it's going to be. And I've done many prints now. I don't know how many. I'd have to count. I've done many prints, and they've all turned out pretty awesome. Like sometimes I'll pick a different color combination, and I kind of worry. I'm like, oh, I don't know about this one. And then it comes out and I'm like, man, what was I even worried about? They're so fascinating and beautiful the way they are. I just don't think you can mess it up. And all I'm doing is tracing it. It's not like I'm drawing it or making it up or designing anything. I'm just going with what it already is. And what it wants to be. It wants to be a happy little tree, right? We're just gonna paint some happy little branches here. I used to watch Bob Ross. That was like one of the highlights of staying home from school. Like, even if I was sick or if I was faking being sick, watching Bob Ross paint on TV, it was so fantastic. It's actually quite soothing, and you know, any kind of art that I've done where you know you need a steady hand, it's always fun to kind of breathe and a bump right there. It's like a little fatty spot or something. So yeah, I'm still just painting this brown color. It's not gonna dry super quick. You know, I bet if I let it sit there for a long time, it would dry. But in the amount of time it takes to paint it on and then do the print itself, it's not gonna dry. And that's probably the beauty of the gel. And it has some substance to it, you know, it's not watery. So you can actually paint it on. I learned how to do this by YouTube, of course. I think it was YouTube. I might have just Googled. I don't remember watching any videos on it, so I probably just Googled. But you know, these things need to be disposable. So my colors, they need to go on a disposable plate. And you know, the more placentas you do, the more money you're gonna spend on this stuff. So it needs to be inexpensive. And I thought, well, maybe I could get, you know, some paintbrushes, like at the dollar store, like a pack of them for $1 or whatever. And I tried it and it didn't work as well. And so I decided to try Q-tips. And so far, this has been the better option. Like it's easier to really get on the raised surfaces. Okay, I think that's pretty good. There's another neat one right there. You know, you're thinking branches of a tree, so you really want to trace those fingers and those branches that are coming out. That little one right there. Happy little branch. Okay. Yeah, my fingers get messy. Green. Okay. So these are going to be the leaves of the trees. So we're just going to start kind of painting that on there. In between. Oops, don't want brown. Again, I already got brown. Gotta be mindful. So I'm not going to the edge because I'm going to have some blue sky up around the edge. So this is just the tree and the branches part. And then the outside edge will be the sky, or the sky that you would see peeking through. Tuck that up in there. And you'll see when I do the print why it's not real important to be super exact about it and how it kind of sorts itself out. You kind of have to trust that it's just gonna be beautiful in its own way. And they always are. It's amazing. It's amazing how they turn out. It's like you just follow the lines of the placenta and it just comes out. It already knows it's beautiful. And it's so funny. I have like a feeling people are gonna leave comments and be like, oh my God, that's so gross. Whatever. Whatever. I mean, sure, you know, it can be kind of gory. You know, there's blood, but that's just birth and placentas, you know, they're what they are. But that doesn't mean they're not beautiful. Okay, now onto some teal. We're just gonna sprinkle that teal around. I should totally like have, I should have like my own painting show, right? So instead of like painting mountains and painting actual trees, I'm gonna paint tree of life and I'll just do placentas. Because there's probably somebody out there right now watching this, like zoning out and being like, oh wow, it's like hypnotic or something. You know, take a few deep breaths while you're watching. Ground yourself, center yourself. Big, deep letting go breaths. So now this is a little bit darker blue. It's a little too thick. I'm just going to go around the edge, the outside edge, and I know it kind of looks like a jumbled mess right now, but it will turn out. It will come out. Cover that whole outside. Okay, now have a little bit of burgundy. We're just gonna tuck that in some places. Just kind of tuck it in. Because the trees are just starting to change, right? And because we're doing layers, I'm not really mixing, so it can sit on top and it's just fine. We just have a couple spots, you know? Trees are just changing. And then the same with the yellow. I want to say this is a golden yellow. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so I am done painting it on. I am going to pause here and move the camera back, and then get some watercolor paper and do the print. So I'm going to take my gloves off and get a brand new pair of gloves because they have a lot of the food gel on them and I don't want that to get on the paper at all. Okay. Okay, I feel like I kind of have to hurry. I think my phone is going to die. Okay, so watercolor paper. I'll set one of those there. I'm going to set this to the side too because it's a little bit messy. There. Okay, so I want to gauge my edges and how it's spread out. Find my spot and gently press. So I'm going to follow and feel the line of the umbilical cord where it's laid out. And then I'm going to feel the outside edges. It's had a unique shape to it. I want all of the outside edges. And I'm just pushing straight down. Firmly but gently. Okay. And then I want to lift pretty much straight up. And that's the print. Cool, right? This one is going to get set aside. And I always do a second one. Same exact way. I might even do a third one. And then I pick the one that I like the best to give to the family. Straight up. Ah, I like that one a little bit better. So when I do these prints, I also take a Sharpie marker and I outline the branches of the tree and then the outside of it. Set that one to the side too. I'm gonna get another piece of paper. So this is the paper I use. And then after the print is done, I would either steam the placenta for the traditional Chinese method. Did not touch anything there. And that's apparently where it wants to go. I'm going to start over with that one. Bummer. Need to fix that coil a little bit. Find the right side, decide where to print, find the outside edges, the umbilical cord. And straight up. Ooh, it wants to stick a little. Got some suction. You gotta make that suction let go. There we go. I think I like that one the best. Huh? Cool, right? And then I would take the Sharpie marker and go around the outside. Yeah, this is the one. This one's good. I like that one a lot. Yeah, every print, every placenta is different. Yeah, that one's very cool. So I would take that black Sharpie marker and just trace around the edges, trace around the outside, trace around the trunk of the tree and the branches. Okay, I think that's it. So thank you for watching me paint my happy little tree. Check out the placenta tour video. That one's really cool. I also have a video on what's inside my doula bag. That one's pretty fun too. Subscribe, share it. I would love for you to share this video. Ask any questions that you'd like. And thanks for watching. Okay, bye. Now to clean up.